we're here on Exercise Swift Response because we are the British Army's High Readiness Brigade, and this is what we do. We go to other parts of the world, we come together with allies and partners, and we train for the most difficult missions that our nation and NATO might have for us, and that includes warfighting. And we're here on Swift Response in Macedonia, training to warfight as a NATO partner.
We're here in North Macedonia on Exercise Swift Response to demonstrate NATO's capabilities, working together, the Americans, British, European nations, working together to achieve objectives militarily together. So we've just done a CALFEX, or a live range. Two PARA Battlegroup, C Company, working down a live range and coordinating the different sort of elements of that. So artillery, mortars, guns, all the support company, D company, and the rifle companies to achieve certain objectives. So in this case it was a raid. It gives us a real sense of capability to see it all working together and coordinating together and working smoothly, all the different elements of executing their jobs and their roles. It just makes the whole thing, it gives you a lot of confidence in rifle companies that you can then go on to do your job as well. The extra challenge of fighting at night obviously is the limited visibility. So you've got a lot of different call signs working in the same area, and you've got to be aware of each other's whereabouts, where each of us to avoid fracture side and things like that. So there's always, you've got to, basically the communication is even more vital, and obviously the commanders knowing each other's whereabouts to execute the job safely.
The British contribution is based on 16 Air Assault Brigade combat team, which is centred around a number of different capabilities, from artillery to medics to infantry to logistics. We got 2,000 troops and about 500 vehicles from 16 Air Assault BCT. In total, we are 3,000 troops from across 8 different nations, including Italy, Albania, North Macedonia, America, France, Greece, and clearly the United Kingdom. We're lucky in 16 Air Assault Brigade, our biggest unit is a logistics unit, because we recognise that if we're going to fight and win, we need to get there with the right supplies and in the right order. So we've done it in all sorts of ways. So we've used military aircraft, we've used ships, we've used the rail network, and we've also been driving. So what that allows us to do is test all those different skills, but it also means in a time of war that we've got redundancies, so that if some reason we couldn't get through the rail network, we'd have other ways of getting military forces to the area that we needed them to operate in.
FARP is a forward arm and refueling point. We basically push out to an area, we set up, and we refuel, rearm, and do force protection around the aircraft. So I'm an ALPC, which is an Army and Landing Point Commander. So basically I lead the team that refuels and rearms the Apache. So we've packed up all of our equipment from Watisham that we'd need, driven it all the way across Europe to North Macedonia to be able to run an airfield or FARPs that we need to use whilst we're out there. So it can be quite difficult. We take the Apache all over the world into all sorts of extreme environments. So we got the desert, we take it to Norway in extreme cold environments as well. So this is more like a temperate environment at the moment, but yeah, it's still very challenging.
So I'll start off with the opportunities of working with other nations. Really what strikes me is the common spirit amongst them. So we are in 16 Air Assault Brigade, unbelievably well trained, we are ready, and we have a real will to win. And I've seen that in all the other nations we work with on this exercise. And it's been really deeply impressive to see that shared sense of common purpose and a real will to train for the most difficult missions you can imagine, right up to warfighting against a peer enemy. There are some challenges in terms of things like communication, intelligence sharing, but the reality is we can structure the battlefield in a way that we can mitigate that. And that allows me very comfortably to have multiple nations in the brigade's battle space, and to use all of their strengths in a way that I think makes us actually a better fighting force.
I was born in Marseille in South France. I moved over when I was 5. lived in Sheffield ever since. But I go back regularly to see all my family who only speak French, so it's kept me on top of the language. The benefit of speaking French with French soldiers is you're working together, we work together quite a lot, and there's obviously the language barriers is one of the toughest things to overcome. Now, I can see we can work off each other. We decide there's some stuff we do better, there's some stuff we're learning from them, and merging them together, it just makes us a lot more effective for anything that comes in the future. So my role, since I've been here, I helped out with safety for the live ranges, just to make sure they all understand exactly what's going on from the lowest level to the top. Moving on into the exercises, that's when I will be the main communications between the British and the French. I've got on really well with the French. They're brilliant people. They're just the same as us. I mean, we're all working with the French paras. As a paratrooper myself, we've all got the same mindset. We work hard, and then when we can relax a bit more and find out about each other, we make most of that as well. So we've got a really good working relationship. They're exactly the same as us. We're just speaking a different language. I really enjoy coming to countries like North Macedonia. It's different. It's somewhere I'd never thought I'd go before joining the military, and I get to see different places around the world, which not many people would get to see.
So North Macedonia are NATO's most recent partner, so it's incredibly important for us. And we like to project to all different nations to train alongside them. For us as a high readiness brigade, it's really important that we've got the muscle memory to project people at speed and at distance to places where we may need to operate. So we're simulating that by coming to North Macedonia, whilst also cementing our relationship with the North Macedonians.
For my country, this year's Swift Response exercise was a particularly notable event. Not only this is the largest exercise in North Macedonia history, we are also witnessing the first airborne operation. Additionally, we are the largest of the Swift Response exercise sites and have the most diverse multinational force represented by North Macedonia, UK, Italy, Spain, France, Montenegro, Albania, Greece and the United States. UK is one of the biggest contributors in Swift Response with around less than 2,000 people on the field. It was very easy to cooperate with British soldiers. I am part of previous British Army trainings during my career, and it was easy for me to cooperate with them. A lot of benefits. First, I will start with interoperability. This is real deal for us. So we are starting to use English as a common language in this exercise. We are starting to use communication equipment. We are starting to use the same weapon systems. So we are learning from you, and also you are learning from us. We are together, we are stronger together, and this is the message for all military around our area of our NATO area, I would like to say, that we are together when it's needed.
So I think this training says that NATO are together, that our nations by design work together, that we have the structures in place to make sure that we will stand shoulder to shoulder on a battlefield if required. And I think that should reassure our NATO partners, and I think it should make our adversaries cautious about taking NATO on.